seen by today's title, it's going to be a Netflix suggestion video, and this is part 1 of 2 videos. So part 1 is TV shows and part 2 is movies, and the movies will be posted later in the month. It took 14 TV shows that I absolutely love, and I decided I was going to share them with you guys. Here's of the TV show, like their cover will be right here, and then also their TV rating. And then I got off of Netflix, Google, or IMDb what they were about, because for some reason my Netflix app wasn't showing me what the TV shows were and what they were about, so I had to get it off of one of those websites. The show I recommend is Riverdale. So Riverdale, this is what Netflix had to say. While navigating the troubled waters of sex, romance, school, and family, teen Archie and his gang become entangled in a dark Riverdale mystery. This show is full of mystery. I don't think there's ever been a dull episode of this. Like, it's always exciting. All 4 of the seasons that are on Netflix are all tied in together. This show is so intense at points, and I think in January 2021 the CW is airing season 5, so I'm excited about that. The next TV show is Scream, the TV show. MTV made it, and Google said that this was about someone getting instigated by a cyberbullying incident that goes viral, a brutal murder in Lakewood stirs memories of a crime spree from the town's past that has haunted some, intrigued others, and maybe just spawned a new executioner. At the center of the story is a group of teenagers with 2 old friends struggling to reconnect at its hearts, who says the network became lovers, enemy suspects, targets, and victims of a killer who's out for blood. This is like the Scream movies. Obviously there's one person and it's the killer. There's a killer between the friends, and the person who does it is always the least expected, in my opinion. Some friends are getting framed for the killings, and it's kind of like a game of Clue, if you would say, but I don't know. The next TV show I have for you guys is On My Block. On My Block follows a quartet of Bright Street savvy friends who are navigating their way through high school, including all the triumph, pain, and newness they experience along the way. Lifelong friends are tested as Monse, Ruby, Jamal, and Caesar confront the challenges of adolescence and life in Hispanic and Black neighborhood in South Central Los Angeles. There's lots of drama between the friends, the gangs, and to find the roller world money that has been missing for several years, that Jamal finds after all the others disagree with him and say that it's not real. But Jamal finds it, and yeah. The next show is Gossip Girl. And on IMDb it says privileged teenagers living on the Upper East Side of New York can hide no secrets from the ruthless blogger who is always watching, which is Gossip Girl, obviously. 2 best friends, Serena and Blair, and reunited, and after old secrets are getting spilled from before Serena had left, Gossip Girl has all the details. Gossip Girl knows who it is because it's one of the friends in the group, which is crazy. There's also a tip line for Gossip Girl that they send stuff to, so obviously Gossip Girl knows everything. Next show is Dead to Me. This woman, her name is Jen, and Jen's husband recently died in a hit and run, and she is determined to solve the crime. Optimistic free spirit Judy has recently suffered a tragic loss of her own. The ladies meet at a support group, and despite the bipolar opposites personalities become friends. As a woman bond over bottles of wine and share affinity for the facts of life. Judy tries to shield Jen from a shocking secret that would destroy her life as she knows it. There is a lot of anger, stress, and fear between Jen and Judy throughout the show, and the secrets kept inside do not stay with them forever, and that just leads to more stress and problems in the show, but all in the end they're still friends. Next show is Trinkets. The show is about a grieving teenager finds an unexpected connection with 2 classmates of her new high school, and they all land in the same Shoplifters Anonymous group. 3 girls don't want nothing to do with each other because they're all in like their own like type of clique, kind of. You know, like in high school there's like the jocks and the cheerleaders hanging out, and then like the nerds and the band geeks and all that stuff, but that's basically what it is. But after they go to the Shoplifters Anonymous group, they become really close. The next show is Money Heist. Money Heist is about a criminal mastermind who goes by the Professor, and he has the plan to pull off the biggest heist in record history to print €1 billion in the Royal Mint of Spain. To help him carry out this ambitious plan, he recruits 8 people with certain abilities who have nothing to lose. The group of thieves take hostages to aid in their negotiations with the authorities, who strategize to come up with a way to capture the Professor. As more time elapses, the robbers prepare for a showdown with the police. The show will get you so hyped up because of how intense it is. I recommend not watching it past 12 a.m. because the show will keep you up, and it is a perfect binge watching show. This show was originally filmed in Spain, but if you watch it in the US, then it is in English, but you can change the settings to fit any language that you want. The show that I recommend is Stranger Things. The fall of 1984, about a year after Will Byers was found and has been plagued by seeing visions from an upside down featuring a more dangerous monster, it leads the boy to see a doctor with the possibility that Will's visions are just him suffering from PTSD. And then a girl named Nancy, she deals with survivor's remorse over the death of her best friend Barb. Meanwhile, a new sinister threatens the Hawkins residence. Has survived the year earlier events which happened with Will. New to the town is a girl named Max, and she befriends the attractions, the romance interest of Dustin and Lucas. The show is so good. If you haven't watched it, then you've been living under a rock. I'm sorry. After this, you will want to go to the store and buy some Eggos, because I know I did. There is a new season coming to Netflix, but I do not know when it's getting released. Next show is Elite, however you say it. When 3 working class teens enroll in exclusive private school in Spain, the clash between them and the wealthy students leads to a murder. Just like Money Heist, Elite is also originally filmed in Spain, but like I said about Money Heist, you can change the languages to whatever you want. This show has some of the characters from Money Heist. That's originally why I started watching it. The difference is the show is a mystery to solve the murder of Marina, and it's honestly really hard to figure out, like, watching the episodes, because when they're interrogating the other people, you don't know who it is because they're all friends with her. Next show is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This girl named Sabrina Spellman, and she duels between the nature of her being half witch and half mortal while standing against the evil forces that threaten her, her friends, her family, including her aunts Hilda and Zelda. But this is technically Netflix's version of Sabrina and the Teenage Witch. The show is 13 Reasons Why. It's about this girl, her name's Hannah Baker, and she takes her own life. 2 weeks after her tragic death, a classmate named Clay Jensen finds a mysterious box on his porch. Inside the box are 13 recordings on why Hannah committed suicide. Clay listens to them, and he finds out if he made the tape and why he made the tape. All 4 of the seasons are different, but they all tie into together. So the first season is about Hannah and the 13 tapes. The second one is the trials about her tapes. The third one is Bryce Walker's trials, because he was on the tape and it was about his accusation. And then the fourth one about Clay in the previous 3 seasons, and how he copes with it. The show is Vampire Diaries. It is the lives, loves, dangers, and disasters in the town Mystic Falls, Virginia, and it creates unspeakable horror that lurks beneath the town as a teenage girl is suddenly torn between 2 vampire brothers, which are Stefan and Damon Salvatore. It doesn't just have vampires, it has witches, werewolves, and a hybrid named Klaus, which is both vampire and werewolf. So if you're into supernatural stuff like that, then I recommend watching this. The next show is The Originals. The Originals is a family-powered, hungry 1,000-year-old vampires that look back to take back the city that they built and to dominate all those who have done them wrong. It ties into the Vampire Diaries. In Vampire Diaries, it introduces some of the characters. Mostly about the originals. They're called the Originals because they were the first ever vampires to ever exist. And then the last show I have to recommend to you is Legacies. Legacies is about Hope Michelson, a tribe and daughter of a vampire werewolf hybrid, and she makes her way into the world, saving her friends from other supernatural beings. This show is the 3rd show that ties into the whole Vampire Diaries thing. But this is about Klaus's daughter Hope, and you know, she's all grown up and stuff. She'd do anything to help her friends at the Salvatore school that Brick made for the supernatural beings. There are only 2 seasons, but I read somewhere that there's another season coming to the CW later in the fall and on Netflix in spring of 2021. I recommend watching Vampire Diaries first, the originals, and then Legacies, because what I did was I watched Vampire Diaries, Legacies, and then the originals. I ended up watching Legacies before the originals, and that just ruined and spoiled the whole movie, because the whole time I was like, oh, I already know this is gonna happen, like, oh nope, this isn't gonna happen, and it just totally ruined it for me. So like I said, Vampire Diaries, the originals, and then Legacies. Well, that's all the shows I have, and that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I upload every single Wednesday. So I'll see you guys next time.